Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon. Wherever you're watching this from, my name is Patrice Lynn Harris. You might know me from a platform called Don't Take It Personal with Patrice on YouTube. Please feel free to subscribe. But today, you're going to embark on the journey to hear, explore, and learn a new sound in a well-known area at Seattle, Washington. You may know this area for the culinary arts, the area for hiking of the mountains, and even punk rock music. But do you know it is the town of Seattle where there's many black musicians that originated and are still arising today? You may have heard of Jimi Hendrix, the famous guitar player, but have you heard of Michelle Lang and the Stillwater, who found a 10-piece band in the late 90s, paving a way in the Seattle area for gospel music, bringing the good news of Jesus Christ in through the gifting of music. Today, you're going to witness what it's like to be in the music scene from a talented musician, Phillips. Today, you're going to witness what it's like to be filled with the Holy Spirit singing through from a true worshiper singer. Today, you will witness the growth and encouragement of an upcoming rapper named Jasmine Smith. Today, we welcome you to The Hidden Gems of the Emerald City, a documentary series of black musicians in Seattle area. Welcome and tune in.
We're the Pacific Northwest.
Yes.
You know, we have our own swag, we have our own lane, and that's how it's just going to always be.
But then the ones that actually practice, stuff you don't see, a song may be 3 minutes long, but you may have practiced 30 hours.
Put your hands in the air. Put your hands in the air. Ghost party,
Hidden Gems in the Emerald City. My name is Patrice Harris, and today we have a fabulous special guest. He has traveled nationally, locally, even globally. He's gone all the way to Korea. Now you might be wondering, what are we going to be talking about today? Well, we're going to be talking about the local black musicians from the Seattle area. And so one of his attributes, not just only his attribute, is that he's an amazing drummer. And he started off as a drummer, but he has built a brand, and you might know him as Vinyl JP. So with no further ado, let us go ahead and welcome Phillips.
Thank you.
No problem. How are you doing today?
Good, can't complain. Thank you for having me here. Appreciate it.
Awesome. So thank you for being a part of this amazing documentary series. We would love to just get to kind of pick your brain about how you started off in this industry. Can you tell us about a time when you first knew that you enjoyed drumming?
Man, it took it back to like church. I was very raised in church, and I loved music.
Okay.
I just loved drums. I loved the way the drums sounded, the way the drums made you feel. And it was like a part. It's like a second part of me. It's an outlet that I really, I loved, but then it turned into like a passion.
Okay, awesome. Now, were you trained? Did you just pick up, with your hands and just have the sticks given to you?
Well, I'm like actually God-given. Like I just learned by just listening and emulating. I remember one of our gospel concerts of True Vine in 1993 anniversary. I remember I used to watch that on VHS. Okay. I just took a Tonka truck and turned it on the side, and I would use the wheels as cymbals and pillows, and that's how I started playing. My mom was always giving me chopsticks because I was going to get Chinese food, so she'd always take a bunch of chopsticks home, and it started with the little chopsticks.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing with that. As you can see, Joseph is amazing. You may have seen his features on local places such as Mob Studios. Okay.
Yes, Mob Studios is like probably one of the staples launching my career. When we would come to the digital era of drumming and video and whatnot. We did a show featuring Big Sis, Lil Sis, Leah B.
Experience.
Back in the pandemic, I think in 2021, we did a special here, and that was like the peak, or like the peak, but like the start of the like rebranding of who I was as a drummer, as a producer, and experience curator.
Okay, nice, awesome. So you heard that he is not only a drummer, but he's an experienced musician and he has his own brand. So you definitely have to check that out. He's not only just this amazing musician, but he's also a family man, a husband, and a father of 4. So he's doing a lot with his time. So tell us more. How do other instrumentalists view you, and how do they say you are gifted in your skills? What do you hear them talk about?
It's my passion and energy.
Go to eventbrite.com, search Vinyl JP, or go to my Facebook page and get a link.
You know, like a lot of times, I'm playing drums, but I never get to hear myself. And I think that sometimes what I think a guy called me to do is break some molds, some create opportunity for people and musicians that knowing that they're more than a musician, they're actual business. Like they don't realize that when people come to see artists perform, they rarely recognize that you're really coming here to band.
Pieces of my soul, my body. What did I do to make you break away? Yeah, how I bring back pieces of my soul?
Because the band behind the artist the artist can be great, but the band behind him is nothing. The artist is nothing. And I teach him but just kind of giving advice to the generation under me, like, hey man, like you're a business, you're talented. Just as much as you give other people, make sure you give it back to yourself.
That is so awesome. And what's amazing about being in a band is because each instrument has its part, so everybody has to know what they're doing for the sound to go forward. And so tell us a little bit about how your brand came about. Vinyl JP is an amazing name, so can you share with the audience?
Yeah, man, I really, I love records. Records are pure. They never go outdated. They're always in style. That's what I feel myself. You know what I'm saying? As I get older, I just get finer with wine.
Yes.
and then it's a classic. Records are classic. They're pure. So, and then my last name is Joseph Phillips. So I was like, I want to take the vinyl and Joseph Phillips, so that's why I came about as JP.
Okay, that's a pretty dope name. So it's something you can definitely remember, and it's very unique. So I think the audience will enjoy that. So like I said before, definitely have to check out his Instagram. So we'll make sure we get his information before we end. I do want to kind of ask you about something you mentioned about the next generation. And so as you're thinking about the next generation, what made you choose the road as a professional drummer? And what are those important values to keep in your career thriving? Because sometimes the next generation, they're hopping on the next trend or the next fad. How do you teach them?
You gotta do it for the right reason.
Okay.
You do it for the wrong reason, your path is short.
Okay.
You gotta do it with intention and with direction. At some point in time, I didn't just be cool. But I realized that caps you out. You know what I'm saying? And I realized that there's different levels to this, and teaching the generation to say, hey man, for one, be yourself. Don't ever feel like you gotta see other genres. And I do it too. I want to do this, I'll do that, but that's not you. God put you in a situation to give the ability that you do. You perfect that. And also too, just know your craft, know your music.
Okay.
One thing about musicians that a lot of times, I was like this when we didn't really learn music. We just lived off our talent. But then the ones that actually practice, they don't realize the moment, the stuff you don't see. A song may be 3 minutes long, but you may have practiced 30 hours for that 3 minutes. That's really what, I've learned as I've gotten older. Like there's a lot of behind the scenes that nobody will ever know, but those are the times that count. So anybody can get on drums and like it, but then what are you going to do with it? Are you going to be prepared for that? Somebody else talking about, are you preparing yourself for the opportunity? Are you preparing yourself? So that's, that's why I tell the next generation, learn your talent, but don't get so caught up in the flash where you're not prepared.
Can you share some of your challenges that you may have had on this road to being a successful musician?
Heartbreak.
Okay.
This is love and hate. Music is something that is relationship.
Okay.
Sometimes it's good to you, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes it breaks your heart. It's going to break your heart more than it makes you happy. But that's where the passion and the want comes from.
Yeah.
You're doing it because you love it. You're not doing it because it's for the blood and glory. You know what I'm saying? So that's, you know, the piece that like, and you're gonna face that at all ages. I'm 46 years old. I still have times where I'm like depressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I should be doing this, I'm doing that, or music, or I do this. But then you wake up the next day like, hey, you know what? I'm aware I'm supposed to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that really take. It's great, but the main thing is getting over the trust factor.
Okay.
A lot of musicians, artists have been hurt and scarred, so it's really like when somebody comes along and wants to help them, they're like, what do you mean? Like, what do you want from me? Like, I just want to create an opportunity, like something that I didn't have.
Right.
This is all based on something I didn't have. Like, I always wanted to perform on like big stages, but I never got calls. It might have been calls or I wasn't prepared. So now that I'm on this level, I want to make sure that everybody has a chance to perform on a nice, elegant platform. Man, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't let anybody tell you you can't. Don't let anybody tell you that, oh, you shouldn't do that, because they don't know. They're not you. And then what it is, they're scared because they won't try what you want to try. It's easier to put somebody back and not try versus go out and try. So whatever you is, just put the best foot forward and know your craft, and then just plow through it.
Well, and this is a man of 20 years experience. And so you guys go check out Vinyl JP, listen to some of his music, come to his showcases, support this amazing Black musician of the Seattle area. Thank you again.
We're the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
You know, we have our own swag, we have our own lane, and that's how it's just going to always be.
But then the ones that actually practice, stuff you don't see, a song may be 3 minutes long, but you made it practice 30 hours.
Put your hands in the air. Put your hands in the air. Ghost party, yeah.
Enjoying the documentary so far. We have such an amazing a talent today. And so this is segment 3 of Hidden Gems of the Emerald City. And so we are just excited to have you enter a new style that's hitting the Seattle streets. She's an amazing songwriter, rapper. She's been in the music industry for about 4 years. And so she's just getting started. And so we wanted to also invite you into what the rap scene looks like in the local Seattle area. So with no further ado, I want to welcome Miss Jasmine Smith. Welcome, Jasmine Smith, also known as
Jwavy.
Jwavy in the house. And so as you can see, we are in one of her primary locations where she does a lot of her performances. And so we're excited. And as you see the different clips, you'll see where she has her stage. It's an amazing historical building in the local Seattle area, a major area called the Columbia City, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so we're going to get started. We're going to hear a little bit about Jasmine's story. So Jasmine,
Yes.
how would you like for me to call you Jasmine, or do you want me to hit you with the stage name? Jwavy. How was your experience growing up in and learning and listening to music?
So my experience growing up, so my dad is, he was a rapper in the Seattle music scene growing up. And then my brother, Mari Baseline, he followed along in his footsteps as well. So just growing up, you know, and just always riding around with my dad, it was just, the only music he ever played in his car was his music.
Oh,
so
really? Okay.
just having that like literally in the back of my head, like my dad's music, like I know his lyrics from heart, like front to back to front. So,
Yes.
and then just being able to, you know, witness my brother doing it firsthand, and like seeing him perform, seeing him in the studio, coming up with his music is very inspiring.
Okay.
And I just thought it was really cool. And so,
Awesome.
Yeah.
So when you were listening to the lyrics and hearing the music, how did you know that you knew how to rap?
I mean, I didn't. I just, growing up, I was really big into like poetry.
Okay.
So I was always writing poetry. It was kind of like my way of venting. And so I would just go to my notepad and just start writing how I feel.
Yeah.
And just rhyming it together or whatever. And then when it came to like rapping, I didn't really know I could rap until I just did it one day. And so that story, I was at my brother's house, and he was making his song to Aquafina.
Yeah.
And so he was showing me what he was doing. And so after I was hearing the beat and I heard the hook, I was like, let me hop on that. Let me try. And so literally that same like hour, I sat there, wrote my whole verse, and then we did it. And then, yeah, and boom. And now I'm featured on that song.
That is so awesome.
That was my very first time ever like really sitting down trying to rap.
Okay.
So,
and the name of the song is Aquafina?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys definitely have to check out Aquafina.
Yep, it's on 48 ounces, Mari Bass 1. So check that out.
Yes. Okay, so you knew that you started writing, you had the flow.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever participated in any type of freestyling, or is it more so let me write it out first and then go?
Yeah, I have to like, I'm not good at freestyling.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna cap.
Yeah.
I have to write it out, think about it, make sure it sounds good before I like spit it, or because I don't know, being a woman in the rap industry, like my dad always told me like you have to come with bars because you're a female.
Yeah.
You can't just say whatever these other people are saying because you're a female. People if you're gonna come into the rap game, you have to spit bars and capture people's attention. So when it came to like freestyling, like just off the dome, I never really paid it any attention because I always, before I spit anything or had the crowd hear what I had to say, I always wanted to make sure it was dope first.
Yeah. That's really awesome because that makes a lot of sense because, you know, I think anybody can rap about what they're rapping about now, but it's when you have the deep knowledge or you have some understanding of who you are and you can depict that and the audience can grab a hold of that and they can relate to it.
Yeah, and have like real substance behind what I'm saying, and that's like my goal.
Okay.
So.
That's so awesome. So how many songs have you written so far?
So, I mean, I've written plenty of songs.
Yes.
Like, the exact number, I don't really know.
Yeah.
Maybe like around like 30. I don't know. But the songs that are actually out, I only have 6 that's on my EP.
Okay.
And then some songs with my brother. So probably like 8 to 10 songs that's out with me actually on it.
That is awesome. Because remember, you guys, she's been doing this for 4 years. So to have 8 to 10 songs out where you're actually featuring or it's your own, that is an amazing journey. So that's awesome. Great success with that. So you mentioned you go into the studio and you had to spit some bars in the studio. So can you tell us a little bit of what that's like? And is there requirements and is there structure around what happens in the studio?
Usually, everything happens in my brother's kitchen. So.
Okay. Listen,
but usually
homemade. Okay.
Yes. So usually I already have the beat that I want, and I already have my lyrics written before I go.
Okay.
And then so usually by the time I get there and it's actually time to record, I just send my brother the beat. He has it uploaded, and then we just get into it.
Yeah.
And then I'll tell him like, okay, I want this part to sound like this. I want you to do something with my voice at this part and like kind of like dissect it as we go. But before we got to that point though, I remember when I first started recording like my own songs and stuff, my brother would be like, let me hear it first.
Yes.
Let me hear what you're saying before we start doing this.
Right.
Because, you know, I'm fresh.
Yes.
And so he, I don't know, still had to make them all a believer, you know?
Right. So is it more so like your sound? Is it like a West Coast style? Is it East Coast? You know, what I'm trying to listen. I'm not going to play. I don't really know a whole bunch of, it's a new time now. I'm in the 90s. So it's a different type of sound that's out there. But let me know, like, what is your sound?
My sound is called the Northern Flow.
Okay. Okay. Come on, new lane.
Yeah.
Yes. The Northern Flow.
Yeah. So it's a, you know, a lot of people try to say like people from Seattle, they try to copy off of California, all this West Coast vibe, but we're the Pacific Northwest.
Yes.
You know, we have our own swag, we have our own lane, and that's how it's just going to always be. No one's trying to bite off of nobody.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's really pretty much all I got to say about that.
That is awesome. See, that's one of the things that's amazing about when you are coming from a local area, you really represent the area you're coming from and you understand the sound that's coming forth from this area. So the North Flow is a whole new lane that you're creating for yourself and for female rappers. And so that's amazing. I'm so excited. And we're going to have some pieces so you can hear her music in this segment. But also,
have you just grown? Like, do you feel like you want to be a rapper? Is that your career? What does that look like in the future?
Yes. I can definitely see myself blowing up one day.
Okay.
Like,
Yes. Okay.
when it comes to performing, like it's something that I grew to really enjoy and just love to do. Like when I think of having to get up on stage and perform, it's not something that I'm fearful about. It's not something I get nervous about. I'm really like excited to do it. And I had to grow into that. You know, when I first started, I used to be nervous. I had a bunch of stage fright. The very first time I ever performed was at this open mic called Retro. It's what the University of Washington they throw. And so that was when, like, the very first time I was like, yeah, I'm about to get up there. After I made the song Beast Mode, I was like, yep, I'm about to get up there and perform Beast Mode. Yeah. And so I had my friend Bridget with me. It makes me laugh because that was really my hype man. Yeah. She was up there dancing, trying to hype up the crowd. Yeah. I have a video and it's just so funny. Every time I look back at it, I just start laughing because we really look goofy. We look so goofy up there. But, you know, it's our very first time, you know? Yeah. And just having that extra support, it's like, you know, that's all that matters. And just having a good time doing what, you know, that was literally the beginning of like my performing era. So I would love to go mainstream. Okay. Because I have a lot of music that's unreleased that it's not just street rap. Yeah. You know, I got some gospel up in there. I got some pop. Okay. I got, yeah. And then, so I'm just like, and I be writing songs like that, you know, for it to really sound good, you have to sing it. And I'm not a singer. So I just be thinking like, man, if I could really just have somebody who knows how to sing.
She has a little, you know, listen, she's capping you guys because I've heard her sing. Like, she has some melodies flowing from that belly of hers. Okay. Yeah.
Tell me some more to come out. So, you know, I had a lot of R&B songs that I wrote. That's really dope, but I don't really have the voice for it, I guess, in my opinion. Okay. Without like some auto-tune or something. Yeah. But sometimes I like, you know, I don't really want to put out songs that's just all auto-tune. I want someone that can really sing and something like that captures people's attention, you know, like the old, like not the olden days, but you know, R&B before auto-tune came into play, you know? Yeah. Yeah. So
like do you do like live raps? Like, have you ever rapped to like a live band, or is it more just beats?
Not yet.
Okay, not yet. Okay.
Not yet. Yes. That would be that is a goal though, because that would be really dope. But yeah, just over beats that are already made. Yeah.
I want to kind of go back to what you were mentioning us, because you're truly like a lyricist at heart, right? Mm-hmm. And so what are you trying to get to your audience? What are you trying, especially for females? And as I mentioned before, we have a lot of trash music and, you know, the same old stuff, having us date a lot of men, sleep with a lot of men, you know, rapping about all that. But can you tell us a little bit of what your message is and what you're trying to share with
yes, your definitely. For my listeners, I really just want y'all to know, like, when you listen to my music, I want you to be able to feel like that confidence, like you're the one, like you're the prize. You don't need to depend on nobody else. You don't need nobody else's approval to be who you are. And then also, you know, I talk a lot about, you know, getting to a bag, you know, getting some money. Like, that's always a motivation, you know?
Yeah, okay.
I know money make me feel good. So I like to talk about it.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, that too. And just, you know, just having that driven mindset to, like, go after it, go get it, get what you want. And, you know, and be yourself while you're doing it and be the best that you could be. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of sounds out here where, you know, all they talk about is like money, sex, drugs, gangs, shooting, violence, stuff like that. But I'm not a product of that. So I don't try to fake anything that I say that comes out of my mouth is who I am, you know? But just because I'm not a product, I do want to put a disclaimer. Just because I'm not a product of that life, for real, like, doesn't mean I'm soft, doesn't mean I'm a punk. Like, I'm still 10 toes standing about what I believe in and who I am, and don't mess with me. I'm big on respect, you know? And so that's what you'll hear in my music, you know, when you listen to it. And I have a strong support system, you know. Like one of my lyrics, I'm talking about like pops taught me the game, flipped it, made it my own. Like,
Come on.
like my dad's one of my biggest supporters, you know, and he put me on, like, you know, the way he grew up and how I grew up is totally different. Mm-hmm. So learning from my elders, being able to take that in, so I don't have to walk that life, and I already know what to, you know, it's like taking the gems and twisting it so I can frame the way I move in this world, and without having to go through the obstacles and, you know, stuff. Like I can avoid certain things in order to be successful, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's really good. And that's already changing the game, because most times you hear dad wasn't in the house, you know, I don't know a whole rap bar, but you know, you hear that, but to say that your pops, like that means he was an example for you. So right there is already changing the course of what rap music is going to be 5 years from now. Yes. And so that is so awesome. Yeah. And this is such an amazing interview. And so like I was sharing, like I hope you guys really check out Jasmine Smith, tell me.
Jwavy.
Really check out her sound, really listen to her lyrics, because I think it's going to inspire you. And so before we end this segment, I definitely want you guys to reach out, know where her platform is, where you can get connected, where you can follow her. So Jasmine, let the people know where they can follow you.
Yes. So you can follow me on Instagram at Jwavy28. That's JWAVY 28. And then on Facebook, it's just Jwavy. And then you guys can also check out Seattle Music is Real. That's on Instagram. Check that out on YouTube. That's where you can find all my music videos. Let's see. And and then you guys check out the Lynn's bookstore. That's our home base, where we hold all of our monthly performances. So, yeah.
And we're actually going to capture some of her rehearsal and some of her performance. So definitely you will see that in this segment. So we are so grateful. Thank you so much, Jwavy. Yes. Thank you for coming in. But check out Jasmine. She's an amazing woman, just a young and a new generation that's setting a new lane. So look forward to hearing that northern flow, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for checking us out. All right.